Welcome back there, guys and gals of the internet. Today I'm going to be doing a brief overview of my 2016 Silverado. We have just over 17,000 miles on the truck now. It's had only 2 issues in the year and 3 months that I've owned it. It's got some features that I like that it has. There are some things that it should have that it doesn't. And it's got some quirks, to take Doug DeMuro's word, and some silly things that really shouldn't be in the truck at all. So here we go. So, like I said, the truck just turned over 17,000 miles. As I'm recording this, we're at 17,029 miles. In that time, I've had 2 issues. One, I had one of the trim pieces on the driver door. I had a squeak. I'm not sure what the exact issue with it was, but it had a squeak, and every time I would go over a bump, the trim piece would shift just enough and make noise, so that was annoying. It was replaced under warranty. We got that all taken care of. The second issue turned into one of those things that the dealer couldn't replicate. I was leaving work one day, and we got about a quarter mile from where I work. I noticed that the oil gauge, which usually sits around 40 psi when you're just idling or cruising, was pegged closer to 60 or 65. So that was a little worrying because that's a lot of oil pressure. So I pulled over, checked the oil level. Oil was fine. I shut the truck off. And kind of like you used to see on the old Pontiacs and some of your fancier cars, the gauge is all reset to 0. So like I was saying, shut the truck off, put the key back to accessory, and the gauges, like normal, they go from 0 to max, back to 0, and then back to the current reading. Well, the oil pressure gauge never went back to 0. So that told me that it was just an issue with the gauge. So I took it back to the dealership, and of course they couldn't replicate it. It's only happened the one time. Only 2 issues I've had with this truck. Now that I've talked about the issues that I've had with this truck, time to talk about the stuff that I really like about this truck. The way that I ordered it, with the 5.3, it's got the 6-speed automatic and a 342 rear end. The truck is rated to tow 9,600 pounds. How many times have I got to tow 9,600 pounds? Probably never. But I can if I need to. And I've got a couple cars, as you've seen around this channel, and if I need to move them, I can do it without an issue. The radio in this car, I got the upgraded stereo system, is fantastic. It's touchscreen. Touchscreen is just about as good as you would find on your phone. It's got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so it's compatible with your phone. Since we're all connected to our phones all the time nowadays, well, I really can't complain. It's got the integrated. Reported ahead. This truck has the integrated trailer brake controller, which I think is a great option. got the auto dimming rear view mirror, so that when some idiot's behind you with his high beams on, they're not blinding you. You can still see safely. The next two things on my list of things, the next two things on the list that I really like about this truck, they kind of go hand in hand, but they're kind of different, is the styling and the hood itself. Start with the styling. I think the styling on these 16 and newer trucks, it's very modern, it's very up to date. Can't complain. I love the LED accents, the curves, corners, the lines. I think it's a very clean looking truck. To transition to the hood has the two divided sections with the one raised divider in the middle, and for some reason that just screams truck to me. I think it looks great, sets it apart from all the other just round, plain, boring hoods that everybody else has. And you get a new 2018 or newer Duramax, you can get the hood with the built-in functional hood scoop, which it looks great, plus it's functional, so that's always a plus. If I find a wrecked truck, I'd love to put that hood on this truck. Like I said, so far I've had 17,000 basically trouble-free miles with this truck. Of course, now that I've made this video, I'm sure something's going to break now. Now we've talked about the year that I've had with my truck. Talked about the things that I like, and obviously now it's time to talk about the things that I don't like. Starting the list, kind of a pet peeve of mine, something that's easily changeable but still an issue, is the tires that come on the truck. Stock tires that come on this truck are absolutely trash in the snow. They're rated as an all-season tire, but they are absolutely god-awful bad in the snow. There's no other way to put it. No traction at all. They didn't get any traction when they were new. They don't get any traction in 17,000 miles. They're trash tires in the snow. Another thing, obviously I didn't buy this truck to get good gas mileage. If I wanted to get good gas mileage, I would have stayed with my last car that got me 30 miles to the gallon. But on long highway drives, it's difficult to get above 16 miles a gallon with this truck. Some people say that when they turn off the active fuel management, which is when the truck shuts down the 4 cylinders, they actually get better gas mileage running on all 8, because then the truck's not constantly shutting off cylinders, turning on cylinders, and it's just straight running. That's another complaint I have. Anybody who's been in pretty much any GM vehicle over the last couple of years, other than a Cadillac or your top of the line models, you're gonna know the cheap, chintzy, plastic kind of vinyl feeling that GM is using on all their interiors. It's not awful, it's easy to clean, but it just feels cheap. It just feels like they're trying to save money. And I realize that they are trying to save money. Everybody is in this economy, but interior feels like it. The next issue is kind of something that I feel like a little bit of thought and a little bit of better engineering could easily fix. As you're going to see, or as you can see, my truck has the vinyl floors. Because I figured I'm buying a truck, I don't want to be spending all my time cleaning the carpets. It's a work truck, being used for work, and here in New York State, they use salt on the roads. I don't want to be getting salt in my carpet. I'll get the vinyl floors. They'll be easy to wipe down, keep clean. We won't have to worry about it. But where the vinyl floor meets the door sill. The vinyl floor goes underneath the door sill, and that's where everything gathers. Rocks, salt, twigs, grass, whatever is on your floor, that's where it all falls, and it's damn near impossible to get it all out. You gotta take the door sill all apart. You have to take the door sill all apart if you want to clean that, and that's ridiculous. That needs to be changed. You got to design that better. Another thing that I really don't care for is between the combination of the radio and the instrument cluster is how it displays the temperature. If you're just listening to the radio and you don't have your phone plugged in, it's fine, because it displays the temperature, as you can see in the top right corner right next to the clock. It's fine. You can always see the temperature and the time whenever you want to see them. However, as you can see, when you plug in your phone and you have up the home screen for your phone or whatever app you have on, the temperature completely disappears. You still have the clock there on the left hand side, but the temperature's gone. It's annoying. So whenever I want to see, now as you can see, whenever I want to click the temperature, gotta hit the home button, go back to the home screen, hit the temperature to see the temperature, excuse me, and then go back to whatever app you're on. They could have easily fixed that by putting the temperature gauge here in the instrument cluster right in front of your face. There's no need to have the vertical gear indicator and then have the gear indicator there on the screen an inch to the right. That's ridiculous. You could easily put the temperature right there on the screen. I realize that when you put the truck in manual, that's where they display what gear you're currently in, but you could definitely use that as an override. If you put it in manual, then maybe the temperature disappears and the gear pops up, and when you put it back in drive, neutral, reverse, park, whatever, the temperature comes back. The thermometer, whatever you want to call it. Just a little bit annoying. Two other issues that I've kind of had with this truck since day one, that no one else seems to notice, but I kind of feel are issues, is a little bit of wind noise, a little bit around this driver's side window occasionally, and I think around the passenger window all the time. But I have asked almost everybody who's ridden in this truck, and they don't hear it at all. So take that at what you will. Another thing is, when it rains or you wash the truck, obviously water goes in between the glass and the outside of the door, as it does with every car. But when you roll the window down and roll it back up, there's moisture, a bit of moisture on the inside of the glass. I've never had that in any other car, and I took it to the dealership where I bought it, and of course, just like with every other issue, they cannot replicate the problem. So it happens. I can draw in the moisture on the window with my finger. The inside of the window is wet. I think it's just them not wanting to deal with the issue. But I have it documented with GM, all the paperwork when I took it in and had to deal with it. In case I ever have an issue with the electronics, the window motor, the switches, the locks, whatever, I have it documented that I told them that there was a problem from the time the truck was brand new. So that's that. I hope you guys could appreciate this video on the issues, features, and a short review of the year and 3 months that I've had with my Silverado. It's a great truck. Really can't complain too much, but like with every vehicle, there are a few issues. So that's that. Hope you enjoyed this short little episode. Until next time, remember, you can always DIY.